Good, happy Monday morning, January 27, 2020. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Monday morning edition of Good Morning, New Hampshire. Rise and shine, everyone. Let's get your Monday off to a good start. And sit back and relax and enjoy this morning edition of Good Morning, New Hampshire, where we have a little bit of everything for you in this program. We're going to begin with your news. Let's begin with local news. 1 killed in crash on Route 10 in Winchester. 4 others injured. 1 vehicle traveling north veered into the path of a dump truck. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Tim Callery.
Trying hard to get a better signal? Enjoy clear cell phone talking with signalbooster.com.
911 call came in just before 1:30 Sunday afternoon. First responders arriving to a mangled mess on Route 10 in Winchester, the result of a serious head-on crash.
We were assisted by the Winchester Police Department, Swansea PD was there, Winchester Fire, Swansea Fire.
State Police Sergeant Sean Eaton says 47-year-old John Lafreniere of Keene was driving north in a 2011 Chevy Impala when his car crossed into the southbound lane and slammed into a 1997 Ford dump truck driven by 25-year-old Joseph Green, also of Keene.
With him was an adult female, also age 25, and 2 children ages 6 and 5.
Green and one of the children were flown to Dartmouth-Hitchcock Medical Center in Lebanon with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. His 2 other passengers were taken to a local hospital.
They received serious but non-life-threatening injuries and were transported to the Cheshire Medical Center.
Lafreniere was pronounced dead at the scene. Route 10 was shut down for several hours as investigators processed the crash site and cleared the road. As for what caused Lafreniere's car to cross the center line, that is still unknown.
At this point, all aspects of the crash are currently under investigation.
And now, if you witnessed this crash or have any information that may help investigators figure out what happened here, you're asked to contact State Police. Reporting in Keene, I'm Tim Callery, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Now let's go into national news. In national news, Kobe Bryant and his 13-year-old daughter among 9 victims in tragic helicopter crash. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
The tragic death of NBA legend Kobe Bryant, killed today in a helicopter crash in Southern California. The retired Los Angeles Lakers star and his 13-year-old daughter among 9 victims after that chopper went down and ignited near Calabasas, California. Video from the immediate aftermath showing a fire in the hills as first responders rushed to the scene, and from the sky, a vast debris field, the wreckage still smoldering late today. The news sending shockwaves all around the world, and fans in Los Angeles tonight streaming to the Staples Center, where Bryant helped win 5 championships for the Lakers. We will have much more on that reaction and Bryant's legacy, but we begin with the new details just in on that accident. ABC News Chief National Correspondent Matt Gutman is at the crash site tonight.
South of 101 helicopter went down.
Tonight, tragedy in the hills of Calabasas, California. A helicopter carrying NBA legend Kobe Bryant, his 13-year-old daughter Gianna, and 7 others crashing around 10 a.m. this morning, bursting into flames, killing everyone on board. The smoke seen for miles, fire crews racing to the scene.
Paramedics were hoisted down to the incident. Early into the incident, they did a search of the area for survivors. Unfortunately, all the survivors on board were determined to have been perished.
Eyewitnesses say they saw the chopper flying low and heard the engine sputtering before the crash.
I heard some noise of helicopter was struggling. I mean, you can tell because the engine was not really
Running class.
I heard a helicopter just flying just way too low, and I heard like a loud thud noise.
The individuals that saw the aircraft said it was coming down at a fairly significant rate of speed and impacted the ground on the hillside behind me here.
And tonight, dozens gathering here at the scene of the crash in shock at the loss of a man who meant so much to Los Angeles.
I'm sick right now.
I'm sick.
There on the curb, we found this woman who couldn't stop crying.
I'm so sorry.
And we met this young man named Bryant after his parents' favorite basketball player.
Matt Gutman joins us now live from near the site of that terrible crash where so many are gathering to mourn Kobe Bryant tonight. And Matt, it's still a very active scene there behind you.
It is, Tom. The FAA is here. The NTSB is on its way. And you might be able to make out that debris field behind me, the helicopter still smoldering. Across the hillsides, there are firefighters and rangers here to ensure that nobody tampers with that accident scene. It is critical to preserve it so authorities can figure out why this helicopter crashed and why this tragedy happened. Tom.
Matt Gutman leading us off on this terrible breaking news tonight.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into weather and traffic. Let's begin with your weather first. Your weather for today and the week ahead, a tranquil week ahead. With more on that, let's go to this weather video from meteorologist Chris Jerzinska.
Hi folks, meteorologist Chris Jarzinka in, and besides a few scattered snow showers dropping some fresh powder in and north of the White Mountains, there really isn't a lot going on. I mean, January has been such a quiet month weather-wise around here, and it looks to continue that way through the end of the month. There's really not much going on. What you're seeing here, there's a bit of a weather disturbance, but it's also homegrown clouds and snow showers. What do I mean? Well, it's breezy. That breeze is going to continue out of the west and northwest, bumps in against the mountains. The air can't go into the ground, it's forced to rise. When it rises, it cools, and what condensation is in the air, well, it condenses, turns into clouds, and eventually some snow showers. That's what we're going to have for the next couple of days, as long as that wind and this upper-level disturbance in the atmosphere continues to kind of swing across. A lot of this is also lake effect snow. But look at this. I mean, there is just not much to talk about at all. Very, very quiet weather, as the overall jet stream pattern is blowing from west to east, keeping Pacific air, not Arctic air in here, and really keeping any major storm systems from forming. Because for big storms to form, we need the jet stream to dip to the south, tap into a lot of moisture either through the Gulf of Mexico or the Atlantic, and create those northeasters. That's just not going to be the case. Yeah, we do have some moisture here in through Florida, but this is going to skip out to sea. It looks like potentially, and I mean potentially, our next weather maker is this little batch of clouds all the way out in the Pacific Ocean. Eventually it will make it across. It really is uncertain now, though, whether it will even get close enough to give us anything, and by that time, it's next weekend. So as I had mentioned, the rest of this month is quiet. So for the overnight hours, our low is dropping to only around 30 up north and in the lower 30 south. The average low is 10 degrees, so we are still 20 degrees above normal. It will be breezy, so it will feel colder, and because of that breeze, along the spine of the Green Mountains, and at least for most of our viewers, along the spine of the White Mountains and points north, that's where we'll see the continued snow shower activity, possibly adding up to anywhere from a coating to an inch, maybe 2 inches in some of the higher terrain. But again, other than that, pretty uneventful weather. And it really is the same thing for the day on Monday. We're talking about highs. Okay, the average high this time of year should be 31. We're 10 degrees warmer than that in Concord. We're even above freezing up north. And temperatures are pretty much in the lower to mid-40s in southern and eastern New Hampshire, near 40 in the Monadnock region, darn close to it in the Upper Valley, Plymouth area as well, 40 in Laconia. The breeze will make it feel colder by about 5 or 10 degrees or so, but still, it's January after all. Most of the cloud cover and snow shower activity in and north of the White Mountains with that wind coming in out of the west and northwest. Could still have a few stray flurries, possibly making it through the Monadnock region. And don't be surprised if a flurry or sprinkle manages to wander away and find its way into southern and eastern New Hampshire too. That will be the exception, not the rule. There's your next 7-day forecast. So there's that 41 for the day on Monday. We do cool off a bit, so still a few scattered snow showers in the mountains, and maybe, just maybe, if the wind turns right, possibly a flurry or sprinkle along the coast on Tuesday with some ocean effect snow. But our temperatures are still above freezing, at least in southern New Hampshire. Still above freezing in southern New Hampshire on Wednesday, too, and skies get brighter. The brightest day of the week will, ironically enough, be the coldest. We won't get to freezing. Then again, we're not supposed to this time of year. Just keep that in mind. And then it warms right back up on Friday. And there is that storm potential. It would be late Saturday night, or into early Sunday. It seems like all of our storms are on the weekends. And really, I have to tell you, folks, to be honest, it may not happen at all. It might miss us to the south. Stay tuned to that one. Put a bookmark in it. Otherwise, enjoy the tranquil last week of January. Thanks very much for clicking on this WMUR Weather on the Web videocast.
Okay, and there you go on your weather from meteorologist Chris Jasinska. And now let's take a look at the traffic map. And here's a look at your traffic this morning. As you can see, not too bad of a ride out on the roads this Monday morning. Lots of green roadways, a few little yellow spots in some spots of New Hampshire, but otherwise, traffic is moving pretty good. No major issues on the roadways this Monday morning. And now let's switch gears and go into New Hampshire Live. Let's begin with your event calendar and see what type of events are happening today. Burrell's Born 2020, 12 p.m. at Anders Institute of Arts. Cat Connection, 4 p.m. at Animal Adventure Rescue and Family Zoo. Discover Girl Scouts, 6 p.m. at the Seabrook Library. And those are a few events happening today in New Hampshire. Now let's switch gears and go into health tips. What you should know about the coronavirus. Let's take a listen to this video from Dr. Jennifer Ashton.
Coronavirus is a species or family of viruses that typically infect animals like bats or cats. At least 7 strains are known to infect humans, and when it does, it normally causes mild to moderate cold-like symptoms, infecting the upper respiratory tract. Occasionally, coronaviruses can also produce disease in the lower respiratory tract, so that's something like pneumonia, and occasionally they can be fatal. We don't really understand a lot of the specific features of this virus, and that's why public health officials are taking this so seriously. I think it's pretty clear right now that there's absolutely no reason for the American population to panic. Public health officials in the United States deem the overall risk to the U.S. population to be low. We are scanning and tracking people coming into this country. We know clinically from the healthcare professional standpoint what to look out for. There's a good test available, and we know how to isolate people with upper respiratory infections that are actively ill or contagious. We still don't know a lot of features about this virus. Anytime there are so many unknowns, it makes scientists, medical professionals, public health officials a little bit uneasy, but lessons learned from SARS and MERS have really informed the reaction to this new coronavirus outbreak, making it much faster and much more effective. In terms of protection right now, I think people need to remember that influenza virus is much more of a threat, an immediate threat to our health than this novel new coronavirus. Basic common sense precautions apply. Hand hygiene, washing your hands regularly with soap and water if that's not available, an alcohol-based hand sanitizer, avoiding touching your mouth or face, avoiding contact with people who are known to be ill. Right now, the American public health officials are not recommending that people avoid travel to China. TSA has set up at now 5 U.S. airports whereby patients are asked if they've been in Wuhan in the last 2 weeks. Their temperature is taken, and they're asked if they have any symptoms of shortness of breath, cough, fever, chills. But the most important is really their travel history. As a practicing physician, I have a saying that it's always best in medicine to prepare for the worst and then hope for the best. I tend to think panic in medicine and in science is usually never a good thing. People tend not to think clearly when they panic, and right now I think that my advice to the American public would be to trust the public health officials, the brilliant scientists and doctors and nurses who are at work on trying to figure out what we're dealing with here, and understand that we have infection control procedures that are well established, that are being implemented, and this is not a situation where we're reinventing the wheel.
Okay, and there you go. And now we're going to switch gears now and go into entertainment news. In entertainment news, Demi Lovato, Lil Nas X, Lizzo, and more powerful 2020 Grammy Award performances. Let's take a look at that video from Access Hollywood. Okay, and there you go on that video. And also, Kobe Bryant honored throughout the 2020 Grammys by Lizzo, John Legend, and more. Let's take a look at that video from Access Hollywood.
Los Angeles, America, and the whole wide world lost a hero. And we're literally standing here heartbroken in the house that Kobe Bryant built. We love you, Kobe. Boys to men. Thank y'all so much. Thank you.
Rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. Gianna. Long live Nip. Long live.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And now let's take a look at your celebrity birthdays and see which celebrities are celebrating birthday today. And happy birthday to all of these celebrities. We hope they all have a wonderful birthday and a wonderful day. And that is it for this morning edition of Good Morning New Hampshire. I hope you all enjoyed watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you back here later on today for Good Evening New Hampshire. Goodbye, everyone.